right, I'm gonna go ahead and do your CBC Dressing Change. So I'm gonna go ahead and start from the top, and we'll see how that goes. All right. Hi, Mr. Jones. I'm gonna go ahead and do your CBC Dressing Change today. My name is Aubrey. I'm your nurse today, and we're going to go ahead and get that taken care of. I see you've got the order for that, and it looks like it needs to go ahead and be changed today. Can you give me your name and date of birth? Jerry Jones, 9/4/1962. Looks like you're only allergic to Percocet, no tape or anything, so that should be good for today. So I'm going to go ahead and raise the head of your bed up as well as the whole bed to a comfortable working position, making sure that we're in the view of the camera here. Hopefully that's good. All right, before I put that side rail down, I'm going to go ahead, put some regular gloves on here, and I'm just going to clean the overbed table here real quick. Got my disinfectant wipe. Okay, looks good. All right, I've got the other stuff here sitting on the counter. I've got my CBC kit, my stat lock. If I had a reaction to the gloves in the CBC kit, or if you already know that they're too small or too big, you can go ahead and bring some extra sterile gloves. I'm going to go ahead and put this side rail down, okay? Ugh. There we go. Put this up. Make sure it's at my waist level here. You're a little high for me, I think. And go ahead and bring you down just a little bit. We're in view. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pull down your gown here, Mr. Jones, to make sure that we see that CBC. I'm going to go ahead and expose your chest a little bit, if that's okay, for the camera view. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put some clean gloves on. I'm also going to need you to remain as still as possible. I know it'll be a little hard throughout the procedure, but that will aid in making sure that we don't contaminate anything. All right, so the first thing I'm doing is I'm just going to go ahead and loosen the outer edges of your dressing. So there's this tape part that's underneath here. I'm going to make sure I take that off first. It goes underneath. If you don't have your trash can within reach, do now. You could just set it down for now, that way you don't contaminate anything. And then I'm going to go ahead and loosen the edges of this dressing right here. With this part of loosening, we want to make sure that the bio patch here, remember the bio patch, the blue circle that's covering the insertion site, stays covered, okay? That's why I've got my hand over the site. I can go ahead and turn it around and under a little bit. I do, however, need to make sure that it is off of this white part of the stat lock right here, but I need it to cover still the clear part of the stat lock. Okay? So let me make sure I get this side all done. So I need to peel it away from that white part. Like that. I can peel it up a little bit off these lines right here. The idea is that in a second, when I put the sterile gloves on, that I can take it off in one swoop. All right, just in case I need those. All right, so what I'm going to go ahead and do, did my hand hygiene. I'm going to go ahead and open up my kit and everything. So I'm going to move that there. I don't necessarily need those, but I'll keep them there just in case you would need those. So here's my kit. I'm gonna open it so that the opening part is away from me. It works like this. You just keep opening like so. And you go ahead and take off the whole cover. Go ahead and get that last piece off. So there is my CBC kit right now. Without turning my back, I'm going to go ahead and grab my alcohol pads, and I'm just going to go ahead and open one because I'm going to need that to take my stat lock off. Can get rid of that right there. I've got my mask right here. Now when you do this, you are going to need the mask all the way over your mouth, but I want you to be able to understand everything I'm saying. So I'm just going to hold it down. You're going to have yours up here. The metal part, so the metal part that you can pinch, that goes over top of your nose. I think I've seen some people put it on backwards or upside down, but the metal part goes over your nose and you squeeze it. Same with the patient. So you're going to put your mask on as well as their mask. You can loop it around your ears. And then Mr. Jerry, I'm going to have you turn your head to the left for me, okay? I'm going to go ahead and pull these gloves out. Bring them off to the side. At this point, if you needed these other gloves right here, you would just go ahead, open them, and use those instead of using these gloves. Alright, I'm also going to go ahead and drop my stat lock. So here I'm opening it away from me. And then I'm just going to go ahead and drop it into my kit. You don't need all those things. You do not need this, so if that doesn't fall in, that is fine. And then you can go ahead and get rid of that. Then the next thing you're going to do, make sure everything is within reach here of your patient. You've got your kit, you've got your alcohol pad, you've got your site, hand sanitizer. Now you need to go ahead and put that first, I'm going to move it so not in the way, set of sterile gloves on here. So open it like so. Flip this top one over. Open it up like this. Now remember, you have that 1-inch border, okay? Alright, so you make sure that you also don't cross over one glove over the other when you're grabbing it. I want to make sure it's in view. So I'm going to go ahead with my left hand, grab just the outside, the inside really cuff of that right hand, step back, and then you put your thumbs like that, or your hand in like that, and then you can pull this part down, okay? But you cannot touch the actual outside of the glove. Now with this hand, you go ahead and you leave that thumb up, and you've got to scoop into this glove. If you need to come from the bottom, you can do that, but see how my thumb is staying out the whole time. So and then we bring it around, and that's that. If your hands get messed up, you just keep going, and then at this point, you could go ahead and fix that. I'm just going to leave that there because I don't even need it, and I don't want to risk contaminating my gloves. So I've got my hands up. Next thing I'm going to do is turn to the patient, and you're immediately going to go ahead and have a dirty hand. So I'm having my right hand as my dirty hand and my left hand as my sterile hand. Therefore, I don't cross dirty over top of sterile. So dirty can never cross over top of sterile. It can go under sterile if you would need to, but never over top. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead with that dirty hand. Remember, my mask is on, and peel the dressing off up towards the site. The bio patch came off, so that's good. I'm just dropping it over into the trash can. If it did not come off, what you can do is you can take it off with this sterile hand over here. So my sterile hand can touch at the insertion site and above this hub. The hub is this one's kind of a maroon colored one. It's a dark color. The hub is the thing that's inside of your stat lock. It's clamped inside. So I'm going to go ahead and stabilize my catheter above the hub with my sterile hand. And then with my alcohol pad here, I'm going to go ahead and all you need to do is go around the site, the stat lock site, with your alcohol pad. You're not going into the insertion site. Boom. You can go ahead and unclamp these now. Somebody is going to be holding your clamper, your stat lock down so that it won't come up like mine did. But I was still able to go ahead and do it without contaminating it. If you want to unlock the stat locks first and then go with the alcohol, that's perfectly fine as well. Then what you need to do is you've got your sterile hand here at the insertion site. You can go ahead and lift it out. If you need to move these bottom ones, you would move that with your dirty hand off to the side because that's below the hub. Dirty touches below the hub. And you go ahead and you take that stat lock off. So, shoot, you would get rid of that into the trash can. It's at this point that you want to talk about what you're assessing for. So you're assessing the site for redness, tenderness. Jerry, does your site hurt or anything when I press on it? No, okay, I don't see any drainage, there's no warmth. I'm gonna go ahead and palpate starting in to out. Let me know if there's anything. I'm also feeling for crepitus, which is those popcorn type Rice Krispie feelings under my skin. So I don't know any of that at the moment, so we are good to go. Just try to keep your head turned, Jerry. I know, I'm working on it. We're gonna get this going. All right, so that's the first part. You take your sterile gloves off. You can go ahead, get rid of that. Do your hand hygiene. It's gotta dry. Dry, dry, dry. And then you're gonna put your second set of the sterile gloves on. So, I've got it right, and I've got it left. Ooh. Okay, good. I wanna make sure everything's close to my patient. I can move that out of the way if I want to. It's good to fold it the opposite way. You can see I'm doing that. That way that the when I open it, it doesn't try to go back on itself. And again, my left hand is not coming over top of the whole thing. It's coming around this way, grabbing the cuff of that right glove. And when you put your hand in, your palm faces up. I kind of like twist it so I can get my hand in. But when you put the glove on, your palm faces up towards the ceiling. Grab here, pull it down. I'm looking at the TV instead of the camera. Look at the camera. I cupped up that second glove with just my fingers. See, my thumb is always out. And then I can go ahead, put this second set of gloves on. Boom. Alrighty. So, now what do we need to do? Well, we need to go into our kit. If I'm going to pull that closer, if I want to move this out of the way, you can do that with your elbow. This skin protectant pad, this is what came with your stat lock in the package. Okay, you also have this no sting barrier film. You can go ahead and use either one of these for your to put this down with, so it does not matter. Since it came with the kit, I'm going to go ahead and use the no sting barrier film. So I'm just going to go ahead and open it. Don't get it on your gloves because it will be very hard to maneuver here. So in real life, you would take the whole backing, at least one of the whole backings would make it easier to facilitate of your stat lock, or at least loosen it up. I'm just going to make a little tiny line here like we've been doing. I can discard this extra stuff over here. Just so I don't put my hands down, I don't touch it because that would be dirty now over there. All of this is still sterile, so we're good. This particular kit has an extra stat lock in it that doesn't use with our stuff. If you get one of those, just throw it over. You know the ones that we use in lab. It's not going to fit our CBCs. You want to go ahead and open that swab stick there, get it ready to go. And then we have that bio patch. So the bio patch, it's in its little container. I'm going to come over here, open it away from me, and then plop it in. And then that's that. Alrighty. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up this swab kit. You should get in the practice of doing it with your sterile hand. This is going to be my sterile hand. Both of them are sterile at the moment. But yeah, so I've got my mask up still, remember that. So mask up this whole time. You can discard that over here. I'm going to start at the insertion site. So this is just where it inserts. My hand is over here, not touching them. You're going to scrub the site itself for 30 seconds in a back and forth motion. Okay? So for 30 seconds, I'm going to scrub. You can just state that fact. Then you're going to pause and you're going to put your sterile hand, watch your other fingers too. So maybe go like this at that insertion site, and now you're going to start scrubbing down the line. But you can't go all the way down and then come back up. So what you do is just scrub a little bit there, go underneath, scrub that. Here, on top, scrub underneath, scrub on top of the hub, scrub underneath the hub, and then you're going to go down these lines here one time, and then that's that. Then you need to get rid of your swab stick. So what we don't want though is that you bring it back over top of your kit. So don't go back this way. Step back for a second and you can just drop it right there. So you're gonna let that air dry, okay? Then with my sterile hand, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up my barrier wipe or the skin protectant pad, whichever one you opened. You're gonna bring that out and you're not gonna actually touch the mannequin, but you're gonna go back to the site, stabilize it with your sterile hand, and you're gonna lift up the site and you're gonna say, I'm cleaning, or not cleaning, but applying the skin barrier under where that hub goes, as well as around where the Tegaderm is going to go, okay? So you do it there, there, and then under there. And then you get rid of this. Step back, plop it over there. That's that one. You're gonna let that air dry as well. Then with your sterile hand, you're gonna go ahead and pick up that stat lock, okay? And then I'm gonna go ahead, transfer it into this hand, okay? Because at the site here, I'm gonna pick up that, device, catheter. I'm going to, in real life, this whole thing would be stuck down. I'm going to place my stat lock down, okay? And then I'm going to maneuver it into the blue things. If I need to maneuver it from below, I'm going to come below the hub with that dirty hand and maneuver it into the blue things. And then I'm going to just touch only the clear part. I'm not touching the hub when I close these with my hand over here. You can go ahead and let go there. So then the last thing you need to grab out of your kit is your bio patch. So remember, there's a slit here on the bio patch. The slit goes down the tube. The tube would be the 6 o'clock. I'm putting it on with my sterile hand, and then you're going to rotate it slightly under the catheter so that it ends at 7 o'clock. Okay, was that 6? Now it's at 7. It's right at the site. All right, and then the last thing you need is your Tegaderm. So for good practice, I'm just picking it up with my sterile hand. All right, so then it has a sticky side and it has a non-sticky side. So the sticky side, you want it to face away from you because you still want that to be sterile as you open this away from you. Okay, turn to your mannequin and then your patient. You want the whole bio patch to be within the clear part. So I'm going to start up at the bio patch And then I'm gonna come down and cover the stat block. So the bio patch is what is more important. I'm gonna go ahead and start to take off this papery plastic part. Keep your date, time, and initial here. Okay, it's all down and it's all secure. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that one that goes underneath the lines here. Put that underneath. Pull this out. All right, Jerry, I'm just gonna cover you up for a second. You can go ahead and take your mask off. I'm gonna go ahead and take my mask off. Okay, put all this stuff in here. Cleaning that all up, cleaning this all up, taking my gloves off, doing my hand hygiene. Grabbing my pen that I had in my pocket. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my date, time is that? Okay. And initial. And then you take this off right here. Make sure you just don't cover the site. Don't put it over top of the bio patch. Come off to the side over here. Place it on. And go ahead. Cover them back up. Put everything back where it was. Side roll back up. Bed back down. Head back down if they want it. And that is your CBC Dressing